Whoop, whoop. What's up, Bearcats? We're here. We're hanging. We're chilling. It's Tuesday. It's 10 on the East Coast. It's 9 in the Central Plains. It's HMG After Dark, pal. Hope you're all having a great week. Oh, how y'all doing? Whoop, whoop. Yeah, sorry, guys. It's been a bit of a day for me. I apologize if I'm a little off tonight. So, yeah, it's HMG After Dark. Make sure you sign your NDA, pal. Tonight's edition. It's probably going to be a bit of a quick one. We're watching the Dark Side of the Ring, Black Saturday, that infamous day when Vinnie Mac took over the time slots of Jim Crockett Promotions on July 14th, 1984. So let's get to it, pal. We're hitting play. We're watching this on Daily Motion. So let's get it. Yeah, pal.
On July 14th, 1984, channel WTBS.
Hey, what's up, Dark Side? Yeah, get me Black Saturday, pal. Yeah, dude, if you want to go, to be fair, you could say Black Saturday was the catalyst of the Monday Night Wars. Oh, things today were something else. It was something else. But, we got through it. We're here. We're hanging. We're chilling with some cool people watching Black Saturday, pal. Whoop, whoop. Hot tag running, pal. Bearcats in the house. What's up, Lab Rat? Good to see you. Whoop, whoop.
Vince McMahon's first step toward his goal of vision that wrestling should be national under one person. Far more than the tale of one man's ambition, Black Saturday, an epic behind-the-scenes showdown between titans of the industry. Snuck it out underneath or something. He said, let's do it, blood oath. The first one to break that oath was not us. So my father, he gets a call they've stolen the company. A high-stakes power play that sets Vince McMahon on the path toward building a billion-dollar wrestling empire. It was all the beginning groundwork of future warfare. Vince McMahon is a cancer on the wrestling business. Vince, one, he was the best at it. He was the most vicious shark in the sea.
Meltzer's not wrong about that when he said, Vince was the most vicious shark in the sea. Dude, yeah, perfectly accurate description.
For over 40 years, the wrestling business has been dominated by World Wrestling Entertainment under the singular control of its owner and mastermind, Vince McMahon Jr. In the early 1980s, McMahon is just beginning to stake his claim. Divided into regional promotions known as territories.
Oh, I did not get a chance to see that. I'll have to, though.
Most wrestling fans, Vince McMahon Jr. as the announcer of the WWF television program. Now, everybody in the wrestling business knew that Vince was Vince McMahon Sr.'s son and was the guy who had just bought the WWF, the World Wrestling Federation, from his father in 1982.
Let's meet Jimmy Cornette and his dynasty of wrestlers. That's exactly right. Let's meet you. Where did you get that tie, Freddie Miller?
Well, I'm Jim Cornette. Through my 40-year career in wrestling, I've been an historian. Specifically, I've studied Black Saturday and its effects on modern-day pro wrestling. When Vince McMahon Jr. bought the WWF, that part of the country had almost never been stronger. Since regional promoters like McMahon Sr. did business through a governing body called the National Wrestling Alliance. When the NWA, they made these bylaws and they had territories where you got this territory and you got this territory.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome, Labra. I got to check that out now.
There was always wars and fighting and things like that. Wrestling has always been kind of like the mafia without the cement overshoes. Nobody ends up at the bottom of the river, just a few black eyes every now and then. Every year, the NWA had a meeting. All the promoters came. It was like the Gambinos and the Bonanos, and there's the Gottis.
Dude, this is actually a really good description of how, Cornette is describing the wrestling business like a mafia. And you have all these families coming together who are each family is a territory. Whoop, whoop.
The links that he Jim Barnett. Barnett was one of the great minds in wrestling. When he needed
Oh yeah, Jim Barnett was a fantastic promoter and booker. Well, at least promoter. I'm not sure about his booking, but I know he's a great promoter.
If you talk to a television executive or a station manager or a big sponsor, Barnett was the guy that they called to make the connection.
Even in today's business, as off the wall as characters are, Jim Barnett would still stand out as a very unique character. Gerald Briscoe, better known as Jerry Briscoe in the wrestling circuit.
Oh yeah, Jerry Briscoe is definitely a guy you want in on the for the documentary because he was directly involved in Black Saturday. Him and Jack.
They say we're wild, we're mean, we're creating the scene, we're going crazy.
I got along real well and learned so much from Jim Barnett.
All the other promoters were ex-wrestlers, or they were loud and braggadocious. Jim always wore a beautiful suit with a tie, and he had the hair slicked back, and he had jewelry on.
Was wrestling incurred violence? I don't think so. No, I never thought so.
He was very different from
When did Jim Barnett die? I'm gonna look that up real quick.
But he's more interested in fine arts, which is kind of unique.
2004, September 18th, 2004. So yeah, he saw the selling of WCW to WWE.
Behind the scenes, he was a cutthroat. He had the ability to cut your balls off and shove them down your throat, and you thank him for it.
Known as a powerful liaison to TV executives, Jim Barnett is close to.
Yeah, Jim Barnett, man. There needs to be more Jim Barnetts in the business.
Wrestling was the first hit on cable television.
These no nonsense dudes who don't take shit.
Just took his local Atlanta Channel 17 TV station and put it on a satellite, and everybody thought he was nuts. Who's going to want to watch a local Atlanta television show in San Francisco, right? There wasn't so many options for TV, so it's one of the stations you got. So you watch the Atlanta Braves. Andy Griffith was big, but wrestling was the biggest show on the station. You know, that was like must see.
Championship wrestling. All the stars of the National Wrestling Alliance flew into Atlanta every.
Oh shit! And Jim Barnett was openly gay during that time. Wow, that was okay. You could say he was kind of like a trailblazer during that period.
TV show on cable TV, that's how hot it was. What made it so hot was the unique combination of Gordon Soley, the voice of championship wrestling, and the available talent. There's so many Hall of Famers on that original list of talent that it's mind-boggling that kind of group of talent could assemble in one small territory.
I think what makes it special is TBS, first TV station to go all over the country. I got to wrestle the best of the best. I'm in the cream of the crop. My name's Tommy Wildfire Rich, former world heavyweight champion.
Give me Tommy Rich, pal.
It was crazy. A lot of times you sit back and watch the people, and it would be a big show watching.
Man, I'm not. I actually got a Tommy Rich story. There was a show I was supposed to wrestle in. I think it was like 2013. Like I forgot. It's like 2013, 2014, 2015. I don't like. Yeah, like 2013, 2014. I don't remember. There was this promotion in Atlanta where me and another dude were booked to wrestle Tommy Rich and someone else in a tag match. Like they had the poster out, like, you know, poster, me and the other dude, Tommy Rich and the other dude. However, we get to the show. Hey, Tommy Rich and his partner didn't make it, so you guys are wrestling each other. Well, shit. Get me the whoop whoop, pal. What's up, Colin? Good to see ya. Bro, how you been? Giggity giggity, yeah, pal.
Foley was a great wrestler, and he had also gotten quite a reputation as a matchmaker.
Either you hate him or you love him or quit him. You don't love him, but you hate him or you like him. He's kind of hard to love. My name is Joe Hamilton Jr. I refereed and wrestled as Nick Patrick throughout my entire career.
I stopped the match myself.
Morton one time said, I don't think Ole Anderson even likes ice cream. You know, it's like, and I agree, he probably didn't. You know, he was just so old school and grouchy. But
Yeah, for like you could see a lot of negative things about Ole Anderson, but there's also a lot of positive things about him that like should have been carried throughout the business.
My name is Brian Berghaus, son of Ole Anderson. My father obviously spent years bumping in the ring and suffered a lot of physical injuries. And some years ago, he was diagnosed with MS. And right now, he's just in a state where he can't really do a lot for himself.
All right, this had to have been filmed before Ole died then. They're talking about him like he's still alive.
In his wrestling career, being in charge. Eventually, he bought into the Georgia.
Hey, what's up, Gam? Good to see you. Yeah, some Chef Boyardee yeet sounds pretty good, pal. Speaking of Chef Boyardee yeet, you ever try their homemade pizzas? Like you actually mix the dough, like they give you the stuff to make the dough yourself. You spread the sauce, you sprinkle the cheese, you put it in the oven. Oh, dude, so delicious, man. Like that was my staple back in the 90s and early 2000s. Hey, what's up, Gruss? Good to see you, pal. Whoop, whoop. Hope you're doing well. What it do with you as well? We're doing good, just hanging and chilling, watching. What's this? Black Saturday, Dark Side of the Ring, pal. Whoop, whoop. Oh, dude, that sauce was delicious, man. Oh, that was so delicious. Oh yeah, Gam, like back in the day, I remember buying like it was a Chef Boyardee. It came in a box. It was like a Chef Boyardee pizza. It came with like the dough mix, like and the instructions on how to make the dough. It came with the sauce and it came with Parmesan cheese, and it's like, all right, make it yourself from here. Dude, it was so good. It was so good, man. Dude, that sounds pretty similar. That sounds very similar. Kraft spaghetti dinner in a box, pal. Give me a hamburger helper. Whoop, whoop. Oh, dude, you were born on July 14th? That's cool. Hang on, Doug wants inside. Be right back, guys. 1 sec. Whoop, whoop.
Trying to get to a box office statement because he had them under lock and key, and the people working in the office were instructed, don't let anybody in my office. It was actually padlocked shut.
Well, he, started examining the books and everything. He saw like Jim Barnett spending all kinds of crazy money on phone bills, $3,000 a month phone bills, and he had a personal chef, and he had a personal driver. So Ole just thought that Jim was embezzling money from the company. They had a meeting of the Georgia Championship owners at a hotel south of Atlanta in a conference room. Jim handed out the checks for the proceeds of the calendar we sold.
Junior, come on, buddy.
Supposedly, when Jim left, that's when Ole came in and addressed the owners.
Ole had rallied the troops and gotten.
My bad, guys. I'm sorry. I tried to get my dog to join us for tonight's show, but he just ran into the other room when I brought him inside. I apologize, guys.
I heard Ole go, Bobby, come here. And Ole handed me all the checks that I had written for the proceeds of the calendar. He said, put this back in the bank. And he told me that day, he said, you don't work for Jim Barnett anymore, you work for me. Ole told me, he says, I'm not out to hurt Jim, I'm not out to put him in jail, whatever that meant. He said, "I think I can run this company, and we're gonna do it my way." He thought everything was black and white. There were no gray areas. That it was just business. You acted like business people. Well, he found out very quickly that it didn't work that way.
You know, because I was getting a dividend.
I gotta rewind it. We're at the 11:50 mark, so I can kind of catch back up with what's going on here, pal.
I was at the settlement at the shows at the time, so I personally know the amount of cash that I was taking back to Georgia, and it was. But Mr. Barnett.
Only first one, maybe the only one at the time, to question Jim Barnett. The story went around that while Barnett was in Hong Kong making his annual trip because he liked to go to Hong Kong and get all his new suits made, Ole either kicks the door in or busts the door in, whether the accountant was in the office or not, but Ole got into the books.
It was like Fort Knox trying to get to a box office statement because he had them under lock and key, and the people working in the office were instructed, "Don't let anybody in my office." It was actually padlocked shut.
Well, he, started examining the books and everything, and he saw like Jim Barnett spending all kinds of crazy money on phone bills, $3,000 a month phone bills, and he had a personal chef, and he had a personal driver.
Wow, so Ole
just thought that Jim was embezzling money from the company.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, you can't really blame Ole for the reacting the way he does when he sees like the expenses. Like, wait, we're spending all this money on personal stuff for Jim Barnett himself. Like, hang on, we're okay. Like, I could see him getting pissed off that and wanting to do a takeover. That makes sense.
Ole had rallied the troops and gotten the majority of the other stockholders on his side.
When I get to the office, Jim's door, lights on. What's this? And I heard Ole go, "Bobby, come here." He said, "Put this back in the bank." And he told me that day, he said, "You don't work for Jim Barnett anymore, you work for me." Ole told me, he says, "I'm not out to hurt Jim. I'm not out to put him in jail," whatever that meant. He said, "I think I can run this company, and then we're gonna do it my way." He thought,
yeah, dude. Like looking at that, I could see how Ole could see those books, see embezzlement, see corruption, be like, "Nah, fuck this shit. I'm taking over and doing it my way."
Hell hath no fury like Barnett scorned.
However, Barnett would get his revenge, as we'll find out later.
After reviewing the accounts for Georgia Champion, part owner Ole Anderson tries to convince his fellow shareholders that Barnett is embezzling funds from the company.
Ole would call me and say,
And again, with like that information on the books, how could you not think it's embezzlement?
Nobody approved those expenditures, and which was explain it off its cost of doing business. We had both sides of the story.
Ole and Jim were not the best of friends. They were not even good partners most of the time. They were always good. Louise Cochran, formerly known as Louise Bennett, and Georgia Championship Wrestling. We were in
Hey, what's up, Todd? Good to see you, pal. Hey, yo, whoop, whoop. Hope you're having a good day, pal. Good to see you. Whoop, whoop.
that was a power play.
If you don't like it, I'm going to toss you over your railing.
We are a 285-pound monster in there.
Oh, is anything new come out about that? About Britt Baker in that situation?
I want to get on the bad side of Jim Barnett because he could actively with you in your wrestling career.
And yeah, we could definitely talk about that tomorrow with
to a whole new level. He didn't just no show.
it would be in the AEW Dynamite watch along.
Hold him up for more money for a main event or whatever.
Oh, Jericho spoke on it. Okay, that is kind of new. Because he's somebody who would he would know.
While Ole reorganizes the company under his own management in early 19...
Good to hear, man. Make sure you stay safe on your way home, pal. Whoop whoop. Like a lot of crazy shit, and a lot of crazy people on the roads.
Vince bought the company from his father. Thing maintained the status quo. He had plans, but he didn't start putting them out front of everybody where they could tell what he was doing. But behind the scenes,
Oh, dude, we can definitely get into that tomorrow. Definitely.
other promoters know that he's going to do it. And the first
So I'm sure it'll be more entertaining than all the 20-minute matches that we're watching that don't mean anything. Yeah. Keeping up with the AEW women's locker room. Make it a reality show, pal. Whoop, whoop.
the annual meeting, all the promoters and so does Vince McMahon Jr. And they both give their resignation. That would be good.
Well, let me rewind a little bit. I'm going to go back to the 16:30-second mark.
You just know that he definitely knew he was going to do something about it eventually.
While Ole reorganizes the company under his own management in early 1983, Vince McMahon has been quietly strategizing to expand his own promotion into other NWA territories.
When Vince bought the company from his father, at first everything maintained the status quo. He had plans, but he didn't start putting them out front of everybody where they could tell what he was doing. But behind the scenes, he has these plots in mind before even the other promoters know that he's going to do it. And the first thing that he's thinking about is telling.
Ooh. All right, I'm with. Ooh, yeah. Bro, we can get into that. We can get into that all day long, and it'll be good shit.
In 1983, they have the annual meeting. All the promoters.
All right, man. Take care, Todd. Comment King out. Whoop, whoop. Stay safe. Hope you make it home safe, pal. Whoop, whoop.
That couldn't be good. What's going to happen?
Hold on, hang on. I gotta rewind it so I can know what's going on about the resignations.
Barnett comes in. So does Vince McMahon Jr. And they both give their resignations. That couldn't be good. What's going to happen?
Okay, so hold on a second. So Jim Barnett and Vince McMahon are both handing in their resignations to the NWA.
Wrestling, or they're going to run opposition. That's the only two things it can mean. And that seems to indicate that they're going to go into business for themselves, with themselves, in some other fashion. Ole smelled it. So, okay, then the gloves are going to be off. Well, the problem was you couldn't handle the wrestling business in 1983 and 84 like you handled it in 1953 and 54. And secondly, Vince wasn't going to play that game. He had one of the most powerful wrestling personalities of the last 30 years in his corner who knew absolutely everybody.
Barnett hated Ole. And Barnett also was looking at survival. He was getting up there in age. But he needed to keep working. He needed to keep that income coming in.
Oh, yeah, that was when Barnett allied with Vince to stick it to Ole. Let me go back and pull up just to make sure I get this correct.
So Vince Sr. asked Ole to come up and meet with Junior and see if they could make some kind of arrangement. And Ole said no. He said that's really not. You know,
oh, yeah, so Barnett was the one who basically was did the majority sell to Vince. As a fuck you, which I can see as a fuck you to Ole.
Things started to happen around that time. McMahon would go to a station that we were on. We had a show running and offer them $2,000 a week to take his show, but they had to get rid of Ole's show. Nothing on paper. There was no contract. Nothing said that they had to honor championship wrestling from Georgia. So the station would say, okay.
Next, You start losing buildings. You call it
Wow, here's something else wow, I'm looking at Jim Barnett's Wikipedia. So looking at this. All right, so after Black Saturday, Barnett, okay, this is coming from Wikipedia. Barnett served as senior vice president of Titan Sports, Inc., the parent company of the WWF, from 1983 to 1987. While with the WWF, he negotiated the sale of the time slot on TBS to Jim Crockett Promotions, as well as contributing to the first 3 WrestleMania events. He left the WWF in 1987 after chairman Vince McMahon demanded his resignation.
everybody's territory. Vince got the USA Network time slot from Southwest Championship Wrestling, another regional promotion out of San Antonio. Ladies and gentlemen, the
Southwest Championship was promoted by Joe Blanchard, the father of Tully Blanchard and the grandfather of Tessa Blanchard.
On the USA Network. He would call different promoters and say, hey,
All right, so in late 1987, Barnett began working for Jim Crockett Promotions. When Jim Crockett sold his promotion to the Turner Broadcasting System in November 1988, Barnett stayed on as a senior advisor and a confidant of Turner. The promotion was subsequently renamed World Championship Wrestling after its Saturday anchor show at Barnett's suggestion. So when Turner bought Jim Crockett Promotions, it was Jim Barnett who suggested to them, rename it World Championship Wrestling, WCW. Jim Barnett worked for WCW until its acquisition by the WWF in 2001. Here's something very interesting about Jim Barnett that I never knew until I'm reading this right now. In 2002, Barnett became a consultant for the WWF, a role he held until his death 2 years later. During his tenure, he identified John Cena to WWE executive Bruce Pritchard as, quote, your next guy.
and that's what he wanted to.
Everything been done a certain way. Now everything was different. And Vince was hoping to get number one. Some of the promoters.
So Barnett was actually an early cheerleader for John Cena
It's a wild story.
and knew what he had to offer.
I don't doubt that it's true at all.
That's actually pretty cool.
You know, like,
That's actually really fucking cool in my opinion.
the rule
It's calculated maneuvering. Vince has seized TV time from promotions across the
So
country.
they're talking about how Barnett helped Vince McMahon get the time slot for Black Saturday to happen.
And when Barnett comes to him with a grudge against Ole Anderson, who has the widest distribution of program in wrestling, and Barnett says to Vince, I think I can get it for you. And that's all he needed to hear. He could take over and control television across the country, and he could take over every territory in the country.
Yes, yeah, Barnett was a huge part of like, yeah.
Talent and TV spots from territories across the country. And tries to hold Georgia Championship Wrestling together by any means.
Yeah, oh my, like,
He only thought
like,
it
dude,
was
J-
everything
like
at
Jim,
that
like,
time, but Georgia wrestling, it still had the reputation.
man,
but
Jim Barnett's one of those dudes.
Yeah, I think he was trying to
Oh my pal, yeah. Yeah, Jim Barnett's one of those dudes, like, yeah, you knew he was an executive, you knew he held power, he was a power player, but, dude, he's one of those dudes, like, if he's like a butterfly effect, if he wasn't there with the wrestling, if Jim Barnett didn't exist, the wrestling business would be very different than what it is right now. Very different.
Only a champ. And experience and the payoffs weren't the same.
Frustrated that their investment is no longer paying dividends, the Briscoes decide Ole isn't cut out to manage the company. But in order to
Yeah,
push out Ole,
another thing that gets kind of swept under the rug is that the reason why Barnett and the Briscoes sold their shares to Vince McMahon was a fuck you to Ole for how badly he was running things.
So, and we flew in the said, guys, you can't do this stockholder meeting. It's illegal because we didn't state a purpose. So we went
Whoop, whoop.
back to the hotel underground or Sorrow, so we were sitting in a hotel bar. And who all of a sudden showed up in this bar? Is old Anderson. Purpose struck us down to find out what the hell we were planning on doing. We weren't shy. We laid out. We're here to take you out of office.
How much money there is in the bank. He tells them, well, why can't you pay it out? And so I'm sure for the 100th time, he tries to explain to them.
Dude, yeah, you're right, Lab Rat. Like the promotion for Royal Rumble, it's. I gotta wonder, are they expecting the name, like the Royal Rumble name and brand to sell itself?
We've drank as much as we could drink and argued as much as we could argue. And Odie, well, I'll come up to the room with you. I got a deal for you. So, okay, we'll listen to one last pitch. Odie, you got your guy for yeah, I got this deal with you. Let's do a blood off so we're all on the same page.
The deal was, if anybody was going to sell stock, they had to offer it to the other shareholders in Georgia Championship Wrestling first, before they could sell it to anybody else. My dad has a little pocket knife. Sticks it in
Wow. So Ole Anderson made the Briscoe brothers take like a legit blood oath with him. Holy shit, dude.
My word means more than blood. I mean, to me, if I give you my word, I'm going to live up to it. I don't need these little gimmicks to certify my honesty.
Hey, I'm with, dude, Jerry, I'm with you on that. A man's word is his word, and that's what, that shows his value. You don't need to shed blood for that. Yeah, I'm with you, Jerry.
Such a man of his word that if he shook your hand and said he was going to do anything, he would do it. He believed people because, he.
We're winding back to the 27-minute mark. Sorry, guys.
Solution to our problem. Let's cut ourselves and bleed on each other.
My dad was such a man of his word that if he shook your hand and said he was going to do anything, he would do it. He believed people because, he would never tell a lie.
As part of the
And to be fair, I can believe that about Ole. Like, I believe Ole was a straight shooter. Like, his word, like, when it came to Ole, like, everything I've heard about him, his word was his bond. No reason to get blood involved. To be fair, I think the reason why Ole got blood involved is because he didn't trust the Briscoes.
If we stick in this situation too much longer, we're not going to.
Desperate to cash out, the Briscoes begin shopping their shares outside of the company, starting with Jim Barnett, who turns them down. Knowing the Briscoes are looking to sell, Barnett knows someone who wants to buy. Vince McMahon.
So the Briscoe brothers try to sell their shares to Barnett. Barnett says he's not interested, but I know someone who is, and he puts them in contact with Vince McMahon.
51% of the territory? And I looked at him and I said, yes, sir, I can. I had to make a call to Jim Barnett.
Jim Barnett knew everybody that owned a piece of Georgia. Jim Barnett knew who they liked, who they didn't like, what they were mad about, what their weak spots were, whatever the case. All Jim Barnett had to do was point Vince McMahon in the right direction, not only the Briscoes, but anybody else, or talk to them himself. Thank you.
Time for a little smoky toky time, pal. Time to bring the fan back. So yeah, in 1984, Vince McMahon was actually there was a time where Vince McMahon was the majority shareholder in 1984 of what would become WCW. But of course, as things happen, he sold it back to Turner. But I'm sure we'll get to that as the story goes on.
Behind the back of Ole Anderson, the Briscoes aligned with Jim Barnett to give Vince McMahon control of Georgia Championship Wrestling, a move that will forever reshape the industry.
In March of 1984, my grandmother passed away very suddenly. My father and I saw Wisconsin to take care of the arrangements and family business. He gets a call from the office. I think Louise called it.
What's in I now own the company.
Oh, that's good shit, pal.
They told him that
Got some shit. What did I pick up? Starfire Chem, yeah, pal.
Right away, he parked me in a hotel in Atlanta. He immediately met with the lawyers. They filed for injunctions. And they fought for 3 or 4 months before it was finally all over. He wanted to stop Vince from taking over Georgia Championship.
With Ole's legal efforts to block for him to do is concede.
There was a deal in the bylaws for corporation that said if a majority of the stockholders decide to change.
Dude, that would be a great mascot, Dark Side. In fact, I might hop on the old Chat GPT and use that AI to create one.
I can remember the Saturday morning TV at TBS Studios. Vince McMahon. It's the only time I've ever been.
It's like a combination of Moose, like our boy Moose, but with like antlers, maybe hooved feet, while smoking a fat ass blunt, pal. Whoop whoop.
Vince would say, Ole, I'll give you a job. Tried to tell him over and over, it's just business. It's just business. Vince says, Ole, I'd like you to meet my wife, Linda. But my dad, in typical fashion, responds, you know what? You and Linda.
Hang on, I gotta go back to this. All right, we're going to the 31-minute and 15-second mark.
Vince would say, Ole, I'll give you a job. Tried to tell him over and over, it's just business. It's just business. Vince says, Ole, I'd like you to meet my wife, Linda. But my dad, in typical fashion, responds, you know what? You and Linda.
Dude, you can't say Ole Anderson didn't have a set of balls, man. Like, it takes a set of balls. Like, when Vince is taking over your company, he offers you an opportunity to work for him. And instead you say, fuck you and fuck Linda. Like, bro, that's some balls.
Turns out the man was Vincent K. McMahon. No talent face. All over office stuff. Nobody knew who sold what or who was on what side or nothing. The camera guys and all that, they didn't have a clue.
Son of a bitch. My fucking charger just busted on me. Hang on. I'm sorry. 1 second. I got to take care of this immediately. Like, immediately. All right, so positive news. At least it didn't break off inside my phone. That's what I was worried about. We're good. Worst news, I need to buy a new charger. So if that's the worst thing, I can live with buying a new charger. We're good. And it's Black Saturday officially now, pal.
The fans of Georgia wrestling, they practically rioted.
They were just bombarding the TBS switchboards.
We want our wrestling. Georgia wrestling was a lot different than Vince's wrestling. Don't think they ball.
Yeah, man, dude. If you really want to see what what set the fuse for the Monday Night Wars, it was Black Saturday. That was really what laid the foundation for the Monday Night Wars. Black Saturday.
Because I'm seeing a new future starting to be made there. I call because it changed my fortune. But obviously,
Hey, at least Jerry Briscoe's being honest where he said, hey, for me, it was more like Green Saturday because I came rich after that.
Ole makes no secret of his resentment.
If Jack and Jerry had agreed with him to wait things out a few more months and then taken advantage of the time when he's dealing with his mother's funeral to sell out behind his back, I think that would have really, in his opinion, strongly for quite a while to the negative. And I would piss the Briscoes.
Yeah, and to be fair to Ole, like that was kind of some bullshit on the Briscoes brothers' parts to do that while Ole is, out of town at his mother's funeral. That was some bullshit to pull that business behind his back. I gotta call it like it is.
for 2 days, be very careful where you go and who you associate with, because I think it's real.
Wait, hold, but apparently the Briscoe brothers had a hitman going after him. Like, what the? Like, damn, dude, what the fuck, bro? Like, what was going on?
We waited 2 days, nothing happened to us. We threw one of the biggest parties we ever thrown.
You think he would have done that?
No. First of all, he would never got rid of the money.
Oh yeah, I got to imagine in 1984 that had to be the weirdest thing. Like, wait a minute, like what what is Vince McMahon doing here? Hold on, like wait, what?
This is a loss of friendship and the negative things that were said about me. The threats that my brother and I got, my friend too, was phenomenal. I mean, our families were receiving phone calls, we were no good, backstabbers. It was a very rough deal.
Determined to keep the spirit of Georgia Championship Wrestling alive, Ole sells his shares and starts his own promotion.
Ole was able to work out a deal. He called up Vince and said, Vince, I'm going to sell you my piece too. Which, I guess, thank you, Vince, because Vince could very easily have just said, okay, I'm closing up. Your shares aren't worth anything. Ole went to Ted Turner directly. He said, hey, the people want to see the Georgia wrestling and the Georgia wrestlers, and I've got them. Give me another time slot. When I went to Ted Turner later on, I said, who do you think's been running this damn thing for the last 8-9 years? Me. So he gave Ole Saturday morning at 7:30.
Very We're very proud to bring you once again championship wrestling from Georgia.
While Ole attempts to mount a comeback, Vince is struggling to connect with Georgia viewers.
They were used to seeing a certain style, and it wasn't something that they'd seen before.
They didn't know who these guys were. They didn't care. They were looking for the people they knew.
Vince is getting crowded out of the Saturday night time slot. Turner's on his ass. It's not doing him the good that he thought it was going to do him. This is one of the first and only Vince McMahon complete failures.
Looking to offload its valuable WTBS time slot, McMahon once again turns to Jim Barnett to land a deal. Barnett finds a buyer in one of McMahon's other major competitors, Jim Crockett Promotions.
How long did Vince's run last on TBS?
1 year. Turner was going to kick Vince off as soon as he legally could. And so Barnett opened the door to Crockett, that TBS time slot. At the time, it probably sounded like a great deal.
Vince will sell the time slot on Saturday night on TBS to Jim Crockett Promotions, and Vince McMahon would get $1 million. And everybody becomes happy with that.
And to be fair, yeah, that actually ended up being very good for the wrestling business because that was one of the catalysts for the Monday Night Wars. Yeah, like everything we're seeing in this was the foundation and catalyst for the Monday Night Wars. WWF versus WCW. Vince McMahon versus Ted Turner.
He's got city offerings building up WrestleMania. Hulk Hogan's getting big. And he's just shooting way past everybody else. And they don't have the outlet to compete with him.
Black Saturday forever altered the trajectory of the wrestling business, something no one understood better than Ole Anderson.
Almost like he had just cleared his desk off and scraped everything into it. To the state my father is in today, I don't know that he can hate anybody, sadly enough. But I think he held a grudge against Vince for a long time. I'm just trying to see what all I got here.
Bill Watts, himself a pioneering promoter in Mid-South Wrestling, writes a letter to Ole in 1987, reflecting upon the significance of Black Saturday.
Dear Ole, I know actions and words once said or done cannot be recalled. You were seeing the beginning of the metamorphosis of change of the very fiber of our business, all precipitated by McMahon, in my opinion. I certainly agree his legacy will be the destruction of an industry as we know it or knew it. After the Black Saturday incident,
To be fair, was Bill Watts wrong in that letter? I don't think so.
was still more old-time wrestling, and Vince wanted to be modern. And somewhere in '87, they had a difference of opinion.
And remember, guys, we finally got our HMG YouTube channel monetized. You can subscribe, super chat, super stickers, donations.
Jim Barnett only worked for WWE.
Helps HMG, helps all of us, all the creators, producers, hosts.
Helped solidify a new way of doing business in wrestling, the Vince McMahon way.
Vince McMahon, for 40 years, he made his business based on taking TV time slots or companies out from under people, doing takeovers, buying stock, issuing stock, public offering of the WWE that made him a billionaire. But his downfall eventually came through the same way. You know, there's an old saying, what goes around comes around. Or around, pretty soon you won't.
Well, Vince had, it came out in the Wall Street Journal that he had allegations of paying certain women off, non-disclosure agreements for infidelities and.
Oh, they actually are throwing the NDAs of Vince McMahon in here, pal. Make sure you sign yours. Whoop, whoop. You know what, to be like that Nick Patrick quote, I got to agree with it. Yeah, did Vince McMahon revolutionize and change the business and evolve it? Yeah, he sure did. Was there a dark side and some really evil things behind it too? Absolutely. I mean, those are facts. You can't disagree with that. Give me Walt Vince McDisney, pal.
WWE and UFC will combine to form a $21 billion global live sports and entertainment company.
Oh, dude, they're covering like the purchase, the Endeavor purchase of WWE, and like and that weird ass interview with Vince McMahon and Ari Emanuel.
What mental romantic attachment do they have to the wrestling business, to its history, keeping it alive? We're going to lose a lot of history, and we're going to lose the last vestige of what old-time professional wrestling was for 100 years.
Dude, yeah, Jim Cornette nailed it right there. Like Nick Cornette nailed it right there. Like WWE under McMahon ownership really was like the last vestige of old school professional wrestling, and now that it's owned by a Hollywood talent agency company who doesn't give a shit about the history and tradition of wrestling, is gone now. Like he's not wrong on that.
97% couldn't get to work anymore.
Going on, you can't go back. I mean, that's life. Just times change, Holding on.
Guys like Barnett, Jack, Jerry Briscoe, who blame them for the demise of the territory?
I don't think they blame the Briscoes, but they definitely blame Vince. But it was the move. It was the move to make.
Would kill the territories was cable television. And that would have been with Vince McMahon or without Vince McMahon. If it wasn't Vince McMahon going national, it would have been Vern Gagne or Jim Crockett. And they wouldn't have done as well.
That might have been the smartest thing I've ever heard Dave Meltzer say. It was cable television. that killed the territories. Whether it was Vince McMahon, Jim Barnett, Jim Crockett, Fern Gagne, somebody would have taken advantage of it. I can't, yeah, I got to 100% agree with Dave Meltzer on that. It was actually cable television that killed the territories. If it were not, if it wasn't Vince McMahon, it would have been somebody else. Meltzer was not wrong on that. All righty, guys, and that is going to do it for us tonight. Thank you so much for stopping in, hanging out, and chatting. Like, seriously, appreciate you guys. Like, I consider all you guys my friends.
Like the 2025 Acura RDX. Lease for $488.
And I always appreciate these opportunities. I also want to thank Ben Hameen, Matt MSG, Big Ray, and Colin and Vet and everybody who's like built and created this platform so I can be here and chat and hang out with you guys and help continue to be a part of its continued growth. And man, I'm getting a little bit sentimental here. I apologize, guys.
As the new millennium dawned,
Whoop whoop! Thank you, Gam.
the once industry-dominating World Championship.
Yes. Much love, pal.
Struggling to keep
Stay safe. Much love to you too, Dark Side. Whoop whoop.
Wrestling Federation.
So yeah, guys. So what's our schedule for the rest of the week? Tomorrow night, Next Level Wrestling review. Wednesday, Locker Room. AEW Dynamite watch along, and then Thursday. I'm not sure we're doing Thursday night. We might do a TNA Impact replay watch along or HMG After Dark. I'm not 100% sure yet. And of course, Friday Locker Room, SmackDown watch along, and then Smack Attack on Saturday, and then Saturday night live watch along of the Royal Rumble. And I haven't gotten the Iggy yet if it's gonna be one or not, but I'd be willing to bet we have a post show after the Royal Rumble. And then Sunday we got the Wreckage. And then Sunday night, if we don't do the Impact replay review, we'll be doing it that night. And if we don't do Impact on Sunday, we'll be doing probably HMG After Dark. And of course, Monday Locker Room, Raw watch along, Impact Attack, followed up with what's lots of Raw that we didn't watch, and a quick 1.25 times replay watch along. Seriously, guys, thank you so much. It really means a lot that just get to hang out with you and watch them. Just watch stupid wrestling and have fun and escape the real world for a bit. Hope you have a great rest of your night. We'll catch you then. Much love. Whoop whoop.